As Republicans in Texas try to push their newly drawn congressional map through, there are others who are sounding the alarm that redistricting is not the way to go, no matter which side of the aisle it's coming from. Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley of California just introduced legislation aimed at ending these kinds of mid-decade redistricting standoffs. The bill would void out any new maps adopted by states after the November 2024 election so that all current maps remain the same. The congressman is one of at least 3 Republicans who have stood up against his party's redistricting efforts, and he is joining us now. Thank you so much for being here, Congressman Kiley. You have been in, well, I want to ask first and foremost, have you actually talked to your fellow Republicans in other states, especially in Texas, and spoken directly with them about these sorts of concerns?
The answer to that is yes. I've spoken with a number of Republicans, and since my bill was introduced a few days ago, a number of them have gotten in touch with me and have come out and supported the idea that this is crazy to have one state after another redistricting in the middle of the decade. And I can tell you specifically about the Republican delegation from Texas. This is based on my conversations with them over the last several weeks, but it's also been publicly reported widely that they're not in favor of what's going on there either. Even if their party stands to theoretically gain seats in some mathematical way, it's incredibly disruptive for them, who they've represented a district perhaps for years, certain communities for years. They've gotten to know the people there. They've gotten to know the issues. And then suddenly those communities are tossed out of their district kind of arbitrarily in an unscheduled redistricting. That's just not a good thing for representative government. So perhaps the only thing that Republicans and Democrats in Congress can agree on right now is that this mid-decade redistricting war is deeply unpopular on both sides.
Congressman, have you made the case to your fellow Republicans that this is actually empowering Gavin Newsom in California? And what does this fight mean for your own political livelihood in California's 3rd district, which was redistricted in 2020, and I believe it's around a Republican +2 district. So what are the stakes for you in this fight personally?
Yeah, so I'm not super concerned about my own seat. I was fortunate to win my last race by 46,000 votes, and I have a history of getting support from Democrats, Republicans, and independents because I've focused on issues that are important to my district, like protecting Lake Tahoe. But to the first part of your question, it absolutely is true, and I've made this point very clearly to my colleagues, that Gavin Newsom is using this as a pretext to abolish the independent commission that voters established in California, which I think is an incredibly harmful thing for our state. It's a threat to democracy in our state because it's seeking to dismantle something that was put in place by the voters for the specific purpose of having fair elections that are free from political influence.
Congressman, I think one of the challenges some of our viewers at home may be having right now is that, they keep hearing on story after story, whether it's around redistricting or it's around the pardoning of January 6ers, that there are Republicans who are concerned about this, uncomfortable with it, but then who don't actually come forward as you are right now. Props to you for being on this channel, having this conversation with us, but who are only saying these things privately or whispering it to reporters, not wanting their name in the paper, on the record, as they voice their discomfort with these kinds of power moves. So, it's good to hear you're talking to your colleagues. What are they saying behind closed doors? And are more of them going to come out in public and start saying, hey, Republicans, this is not what we should be the face of? And I don't just mean the redistricting effort, but also this effort to go and arrest Democrats. That is not playing well with a lot of Americans, regardless of their political background right now. Does your party really want that to be, your reputation?
Well, I do think it's important to emphasize that gerrymandering is a problem, and both parties have done it. I mean, you look at Illinois, where the Texas Democrats are right now, and that state is gerrymandered worse than maybe any state since 1812, when this is where the term gerrymandering comes from, is there was a crazy district in Massachusetts that looked vaguely like a salamander, and the governor was Eldridge Gerry, so that's how we got the term gerrymander. So this is something that both parties have done. I think it's a big problem, regardless of who does it. I think it's bad for democracy and representative government. But to your question, actually, we have seen an increasing number of folks on both sides of the aisle who have come out in favor of the idea that I've proposed in my bill. Let's just call a truce in this redistricting war. Let's take a deep breath. Let's go back to focusing on the issues that really matter. For example, I just saw that Andy Harris in Maryland came out and said we should not be doing mid-decade redistricting. So I've also called upon the Speaker and Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader, to show some leadership here by coming together and saying this is not what we should be doing. Where does this end? Why don't we just go back to the way it's traditionally been, where we redraw district lines once a decade after the census to reflect population changes, and then we don't worry about it again for until the next decade.
Are you at all frightened, though? I have to follow up on that because it was part of my question, too. Are you at all frightened, though, about this prospect that, I mean, Greg Abbott is asking the FBI to get involved here? I mean, this is a massive escalation. You are absolutely right that both parties are at fault here for, gerrymandering throughout history. But the reality is there's only one party trying to start this mid-decade fight right now. And Democrats are just saying they're going to do it if you do it. So this escalation, it is primarily responsibly on the Republican side.
Well, I think that I will agree with you on this, that when people are watching these scenes from home of, of people fleeing the state and of arrest warrants being issued, these are kind of wild scenes. I think people are kind of like scratching their heads like, what the heck is going on here? This is not how the political process is supposed to work. And I will have to add that what's happening in California is actually different and worse and a much bigger threat to democracy because the entire goal is to overturn the will of voters and sideline an independent commission. But I do agree that it's a problem wherever this is happening, which is why I've introduced a bill that would apply to all 50 states. And I'd also agree with this point, that we need to get back to finding more common ground in this country, especially when it comes to sort of defining the basic parameters of our politics. We can disagree vigorously and debate within those parameters about policy, about our respective visions for the country. That's what democracy is all about. But when it comes to setting the rules of the road, I think we need to look for more opportunities to find common ground. And I think a big part of the reason why people have become so disillusioned and distrustful in the political process is this perception that one party or the other or both parties are trying to bend the rules of the game in their favor.
Congressman Kiley, we thank you again for coming on our air, for being one of the few voices who seems to care about democracy right now in this moment. We appreciate you.